For those of you who are live with me on YouTube tonight, welcome. Our DJ is going crazy tonight. And we're going to start in just a few more minutes. So you guys, we're stepping up the game just a little bit tonight. We are live on IG and we are live on my channel on YouTube at the same time. We're trying to make everybody free tonight. If you have not already subscribed, go look at my Connect flyer on my profile and you will see how to tune in there as well. Hey. If you're here with me in YouTube, I need you to say something in my chat room. I just want to know who's here with me. Joanna. Joe. We can turn it down after this. I'm gonna turn it over to you. All right, sounds good. All right, guys, I'm gonna appreciate y'all right. Thank you. Thank you as always. Thank you. You are the best. Welcome everybody. You know what? Our numbers are not where they usually are. So I'm going to wait just a few minutes for you to go find a friend, and then ask them to ask their mom and their cousin and their besties to come join us too, okay? We got 41 people. I know we can do better than that. In the meantime, while we are waiting for people to make their way in and make their way out to go invite some more people, I have a couple of announcements. So we opened up our experience tonight to Spelman Class of 2024. For those of you who do not know, I am a professor at Spelman College. I teach a class called Designing Your Life. And this is an extension in ways of that class. So before going to Spelman, I'm a life coach, I'm a speaker. And so we're trying to make sure that we can keep the community aspect of what happens at Spelman alive and well and pumping and thriving, not just through the AUC, which is the Atlanta University Center, but throughout the country, throughout the world. If we have people joining from overseas, we are so excited to be all together here. Yes, the Rachel Marie, if you are Spelman 2024, please drop a blue heart in our comments, and I'm going to ask my moderators to see if we can try to collect as many of these names as possible. I'm going to try my best to pair you with the host tonight. So during the Spellbound experience, generally you would have a big sister, and your big sister would be the person who would allow you to come to class with her. So in some ways, this is like what our class looks like. And so we want to make sure, see if we can make some connections here tonight, all right? We are going to be talking about freedom. Thank you to all of the people who participated in the Be Professor Williams Juve Challenge. The submissions were absolutely amazing. I am going to ask if Spelman 2024, if you know anybody who is a member of the class of Spelman 2024 who has been accepted to Spelman, or any school for that matter, a high school student who's looking to see what college can be like just a little bit, go invite them. Let's give them a little bit of experience that they probably wouldn't have otherwise. Thank you so much for wanting to host somebody. We're going to work that out closer to the end. I'll make this announcement a few times during our time today, okay? I'm gonna let y'all know I'm killing a little bit of time because we usually have a lot more people on here by now. So I want to make sure we don't lose anybody, that we don't have anybody missing out tonight because I told them to go and leave and go find somebody and I started without them. How dare I do that? This is my bowl of submissions for our winners, or winner tonight. For participating in the Juve Challenge and explaining what freedom meant to you, either through the dance that Raven created or through any form of expression, be it art or poetry. There were so many beautiful submissions. I decided that I would give a prize of 3 coaching sessions with me, okay? So I have my bowl, and if you guys are ready for me to go ahead and choose, I hope everybody is here. So that they can know who the winner is. But I'm going to go ahead and choose right now our winner. I'm not going to look. is Shelby Short. Shelby Short, are you here? I sure hope so. I'm going to wait for a second because I know there's a little bit of a delay. If you know Shelby Short, go tell her she won. I'm going to end up posting it. But her submission was really, really beautiful. I'm so excited. Yay! Hi, Shelby. I'm so excited to spend some time with you really soon. I will send you a DM tomorrow, and then we'll schedule some time to get going. So congratulations. I'm so excited. Your submission was absolutely beautiful. I think we'll have a really good time. All right. If you guys are ready to talk about freedom, go ahead and shoot me a butterfly. No, I don't want a butterfly. I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the word freedom. And then I'll tell you mine. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the word freedom? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Listen, so freedom for me included liberating my head from my braids, okay? I decided I need to be as free as possible with you guys tonight. Yes, happiness, unhindered expression, liberation, happiness. What else do we have? No bondage. Okay. What else? Peace, pure self, peace, fluidity. Okay. Self-expression, peace. Okay. Expansion. Yes, Jacqueline. Tranquility. Definitely peace. Unapologetically me. So I'm going to tell you guys the first thing that came to mind when I thought about the word freedom and I was preparing for tonight was I saw a person dancing in the rain with their eyes closed and their head up and kind of like their arms open and receiving, right? And so freedom is that space where everything that has blocked you in some form or fashion, when everything that could stand in your way, you open yourself to release it. And in opening yourself to release it, you open yourself to receive all of the things that are for you. And sometimes those things look like the rain washing it away. Sometimes it's not just physical rain or physical water, but it's life. Right? It's life's experiences that can sometimes come in their own ways, wash away the things that no longer serve us, wash away the things that no longer fit, right? So that we can open ourselves to receive all the things that need to find their way to us. And so in watching my submissions and seeing people dancing and seeing the poetry, I think there was one entry that talked about primary colors. And in reading the entry, it made me think about getting back to the essence of all things, right? So the primary colors are, if you take any color, you break it all the way down. And the base of that is one of a few colors, right? So just getting back to the natural, authentic essence of things. And so freedom sometimes steals our ability, or the lack of freedom, imprisonment, sometimes steals our ability to show up for ourselves. It steals our ability to show up for others, right? And so many of us are in quarantine or in self-isolation in one way or another. And so by being in our homes, we feel as though all of the options that life has for us has been stripped away from us. Right? We can't move when we want to move. We can't go when we want to go. We're not mobile anymore. You got to wait for certain times to even get groceries. You know, if you're used to leaving your house to go places later in the day, you can't do anything in the way that you used to be able to do it. And so what we tend to do is cling on to the little bits of freedom that we do have. So on Mondays during the day, I have my office hours with my students. And today, a lot of people were talking about being unmotivated. It's the end of the semester. Life as we know it is a lot different. Who's feeling spaces of unmotivation, right? Who's feeling like they just are not motivated to do the things in the way that they generally would? Who's feeling like, yes, I know I need to do homework, but I just don't feel like it? Who's feeling like, yes, I probably should get in there and write that paper or do work or whatever it may be? Yes, I know I need to have difficult conversations with certain people or whatever it is. And it's just like, for whatever reason, like, I know it's what I'm supposed to be doing, but I haven't been able to do it. I haven't been able to find myself in the change. I haven't been able to find myself in the differences that life has kind of brought to me. And because I was expecting things to go a certain way, and because I was expecting life to go a particular way, and all of those things shifted suddenly, now I just feel like I just don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything unless it's only something that I want to do. I want us to recognize that those spaces where we feel unmotivated oftentimes are a space to hold on to control. It's a space for us to try to hunker down and dig in. And because we can't control the majority of things, and because all of the things that generally normally control themselves, they're not doing it anymore. And so now, because I didn't wake up in the morning and leave and go to class and sit in class, half sleep, complaining about how I didn't want to be there anyway, and then I left to go have lunch with my friends and then left to go do something else, because I can't control those things anymore, I just don't want to do anything. If that is you, or if you know somebody that sounds like, I need you to go find 3 more people and bring them into our life. I need you to go find them. I need you to go find them, and I need you to go bring them. Because to sit in a class after this idea of freedom for this week has been planned for literally weeks, okay? The topic of freedom we have had on the books since the first Soul Sessions and Life Lessons. That very first time we talked about, or you guys told me how much you were going to miss Juve. And I said, you know what? Let's do it. And that makes me think about freedom. So this has been planned. So for me to go into a classroom today with my students, and everybody talked about feeling like they are not free, it's not by chance. And so because of that, recognize that the blessing in the message is not just for you. The blessing in the message is not just for you. So I need you to go find the people, and I need you to go bring them back. And I know that there are all kind of other holidays that are happening today. If you picked up what I put down, and you picked up what I put down, but they're searching for freedom too, in just a different way. So tell them to come on. Tell them to come join us. I'm going to wait just a few minutes. If you are feeling unmotivated right now while we are waiting for our numbers to get to where they usually are on a Monday night, I want you guys to tell me, where are the exact spaces that you are feeling like you are not motivated? Where does it exist? Where does it exist? But y'all know what I'm talking about. You can laugh at the holiday if you want to, but I believe thoroughly in calling a spade a spade. And that's not new to anybody on this channel right now. There we go. We're seeing some movement. Where are you feeling like you are not motivated? Thank you, Tati. Academically. Okay, homework. Who else? Artistically. Okay. Literally only academics. Okay, school. Okay. Creativity. Thank you, Martover. Physically. Thank you, Gladair. Okay. School and self-care. Okay. Thank you. Homework and mentally. Tending to emotions. Life. Okay. Relationships. Okay. So we're not crazy. This is something that everybody is experiencing right now, sometimes spiritually. So what if we saw this as an opportunity, right? Because oftentimes the places where we feel most stuck, and I thought I was going to save this topic for next week, but I guess we're going to talk about it today. We talk about getting unstuck in my class. It is literally an entire week getting unstuck. And so the process of getting unstuck is fairly easy when you recognize that you were stuck. And everybody right now is telling me not only that you are stuck, but also where you feel stuck. Okay? So you guys already know, go get your notebooks. Go get your notebooks, go get your notebooks, go get your notebooks, because I don't want you all to miss the opportunity to work through some of this. Okay? Because a lot of the condition that we are in is far more mental than physical. Because we feel like once we are stuck, we don't just need to know how to take the next few steps. We have to figure out how to get to the end of the race. We feel like we're stuck right now. And it's not that I'm stuck in the mud. My car is just stuck in the mud. And we talked about GPS last week. And our GPS has us going to somewhere 30 minutes away from where we're currently sitting. And so we're so focused on getting all the way to our destination that we don't realize that we have to make one move right now first. Okay, organizing, yes, decluttering. Because when we're in the house and all of the things are here and all of our comforts are here, the places where we sleep, the places where we rest, the places where we eat, generally our home psychologically is associated with the place where we don't work. And so because of that, our mental conditioning has stopped us from being effective. Once we realize that it's our mental conditioning that stops us from being effective, you now are able to free yourself and you have some of the keys that it takes to move into the next step. Okay? Getting people to value their lives as much as I do as a healthcare provider. Oh, that's really good. And thank you for being a healthcare provider, first of all. So what we're going to do right now, I didn't think that this was going to be a workshop when I started preparing for today, but I guess this is what it's going to be. Everybody who identified where they are stuck, if you have not identified where you are stuck yet, go ahead and write it down. Write down where you were stuck. And then identify one place that you could do, one thing that you can do. One thing that you could do to be a hair less stuck than you are now. For instance, somebody said organizing and Jacqueline said organizing and decluttering, especially my desk. So if that means taking 3 pieces of paper and going through them, okay, that's one thing that you can do to change your position, to improve your situation, to get you unstuck. Okay, so if we are in our car and say we are stuck in mud, or we find ourselves, our car is sitting in mud. Sometimes we just assume that we are stuck in the mud because the mud looks loose under the tires. Sometimes we don't even recognize if we are fully stuck or not because we haven't pressed the gas pedal to try to reverse or move. We haven't even shifted the gear to put our car into a position where it can just move. Sometimes we're pressing the gas and the parking brake is on, which means we're working against ourselves in being able to transition. So in identifying A, where you're stuck, B, what's the first thing that you can do to get yourself a little bit unstuck, all you have to do is keep doing that same process. Not the same thing, the same process. Because if the car is already put into drive, you can't keep putting the car into drive and not press the gas. Is this making sense what I'm saying today? The goal is to adjust and to do something. So if you are my student and you are in my class, you know that I don't shy from 4-letter words, okay? Sometimes they help me express myself a little bit more, and we believe in being authentic across the board. And so this is me being authentic. I'm going to tell you what I tell my class, literally what goes on the PowerPoint slide and getting unstuck. No, matter of fact, I know I have quite a few of my students in here. I need a student to tell me, what are the steps to getting unstuck? Who can tell me? I'm going to allow my students to help me today. What are the steps to getting unstuck? I know you guys know them. We talk about them a lot. Number one, realize you're not stuck. What else? No, we need all of them. Right. So number two, try shit. Then what? What's number three? Come on, somebody. If that doesn't work, try something else. So, first of all, you have to realize that you are not actually stuck. And I'm going to help you guys understand. So, when I started doing this kind of work, I was working in a prison. Okay. Substance abuse counselor in a prison. And the kind of work that I do in my Designing Your Life class was exactly what I did with people who were behind bars. So we're going to stop for a second and we're going to recognize how not stuck we truly are in this moment. If you have the freedom to go to the bathroom when you want to, you are not stuck. If you have the freedom to go to your refrigerator whenever you would like and then choose whatever you would like to eat, you are not stuck. If you can say, you know what, it's kind of stuffy in this house right now, I think I just want some fresh air, and you can step outside, you are not stuck. You are not stuck. If you have the ability to pull out your homework and then decide this isn't what I want to do right now, yep, you're not stuck. Nope. If you can choose to go to the store when you want to or order food whenever you want to, regardless of this pandemic that we're in, regardless of the whole world not catering to your exact needs in this very moment, and Amazon Fresh not having the delivery accessible to you right in this moment, I need you to recognize that we are not truly stuck, because while Amazon may not deliver, you know who will? Instacart from Publix will, Whole Foods will deliver. It's a whole bunch of places. You have options, you have choices. But we get so stuck looking at the exact same circumstances where there probably isn't a real direction forward, rather than saying, wait a minute, I can actually turn my head and look over here, and then I can look over there. You know what? I want to look all the way over here. There are options. There are options. And this is not about, well, at least I'm not in prison. Well, at least I'm not incarcerated. No, we don't do pity parties either, because every part of everybody's journey is especially for them. But in that, if I can teach this class inside a prison and people realize they're not stuck there, you just don't have an option. It just doesn't make sense in my brain, and it shouldn't make sense in yours. So where can you identify? Where can you align and recognize that I am stuck moving in this direction? What is something else that I can do? I am stuck if I continue to think I can get up, get in my car, drive down the street, go to Spelman College, go to Clark Atlanta University, go to Morehouse, go to work, go to wherever and do the things that you would have done before the shelter in place came in. If you are waking up every day upset about that, you are sticking yourself in the mud. You're not stuck. Because you can go into your office, you can go sit at your dining room table, you can pull out your computer, you can go to your phone, you can do something different. It is my firm belief that the people who are willing and able to do the work that it takes to be able to pivot and readjust quickly during this time are going to be the people who win. And I don't just mean win right now, I mean win across the board. How can you take the opportunity that you're in? And this is the exercise that we did with my class today. In the spaces where you feel that you are stuck, how can you recognize that your circumstances now are freer than ever? And this was something that we actually went through and identified. So for instance, If you feel like, man, like I'm just so unmotivated, there's so many other things to do in my house, but do my homework. The truth of the matter is because you probably aren't leaving and going anywhere, because you don't have to get up and actually go to class, because you don't have to do anything anywhere. And John Jack, you ain't even heard my baseball analogy yet. I got all the sports, okay? But you have to recognize that you can just do something different. Matter of fact, John, thank you. We're going to talk about basketball. Now, y'all have to forgive me because I failed miserably in class earlier today. Okay. The things that you learn in the majority of sports teams, if you don't recognize those are actually life lessons, I don't know what to tell you. And when I say sports, I'm including dance, I'm including cheerleaders, I'm including every single team you could possibly be on. You are learning life lessons. When you are on the field, we're gonna say football now. When you are on the field and you see yourself, you see a big old linebacker coming for you because you're holding the ball and you don't release it somewhere else. We talked about this in the very first. Thank you, Davi. If actually, you know what? This is what we're gonna do. If you want to hear the rest of my sports analogy, you're gonna go find 3 more people because I need to close out of this live because it's gonna cut me off at 8:45 anyhow. Okay. I'm gonna pick up right where I left off. But when I hang up or when I close out, you guys go find some more people and bring them in. Why, thank you. I was trying to bring out the colors for Juve, Jillian. All right, I'm gonna close this live. I will be right back. I'm not saving it, right? YouTube, bear with me just for a moment, okay? So the reason we're doing this on live and YouTube too is because IG likes to kick me out right at an hour. And so let's see, cancel, share. All right, so we're about to get back started in just a few seconds, the minute I can get us live again, okay? All right, we're gonna wait for a second, everybody. All right, welcome you guys. I'm gonna wait till we get our numbers back before we get back started. Welcome. 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 Welcome, welcome. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let everybody get back with us. Hey, everybody. I can see everybody who's here a little bit better now because it all flows in so quickly, usually. Welcome. I'm gonna wait till we get back. Hi, YouTube. Can I know who's with me today? I would love for you guys to say something in my chat. Sunday. Thank you, Tati. All right, we're getting our numbers back. We are almost there. Okay. Almost. While we're waiting for our numbers to get back, tell me what has resonated with you most so far in this live, okay? What has resonated with you most today? Let me know. Hi, Robin. Hi, Micah's mom. Hi. Welcome. Welcome. Hey, Brandon. This is interesting. So I have people in both places. I'm liking it, though. All right, we're waiting just a little bit. You are not stuck. Just turn your head. Thank you. Who else? Yes, we are truly free. Thank you, Martover. We got options, so make use that you are not stuck. Absolutely. For my people on YouTube, tell me the thing that has stood out to you the most today so far while we wait for everybody to get back here. You are not stuck. Shifting perspective, realizing that you're not as stuck as you think. Wonderful. By telling yourself you're stuck, you're doing it a service. Absolutely. Okay, you want to get into how to stay free once you get free. Okay, I'm gonna write it down. We'll see if we get there today or if it ends up being somewhere else, okay? While we continue to get our numbers, I am so excited. I think this is the perfect time to talk about this really quickly. I am introducing a masterclass for Mother's Day. So if you have not gotten your mother something, or we have a mom who is here, who you want to go ahead and tell your daughter or your son, hey, what's going on? This is what we should be doing. I am doing a masterclass about renegotiating adult relationships. Because the goal in life is to make sure that we have really healthy relationships with our parents, but something shifts as we get a little bit older. And so by navigating that space together, we're able to really move into adulthood in healthy spaces. Okay, so look out for that in the next live. If that's something that you're interested in, give me a butterfly or give me a heart or give me something. Let me know. Okay, we are almost back, and I'm gonna get right back into my sports analogy. I'm gonna pick up where I left off. Okay, good, good, good. All right, well, it should be a really good time. It's gonna be um, a little bit different from here because it'll be an experience that we fully work through. Okay, so it's not just gonna be me talking. It's gonna be a lot of activity. It's going to be actual. It's gonna be work product. So by the time you leave our space together, you will have worked or at least be in the beginning stages of being able to work through a healthy relationship that everybody is in agreement with as you move into adulthood and as your parents transition into having adult kids, because it's a thing and it's a little bit different. Okay. All right. So our numbers are close to being back. So we were talking about sports. So this is a thing that I talk about this a lot, and I believe I talked about it in the Welcoming Change live, which was the first live that we did. But I'm going to bring it back and run it back. I'm gonna switch from football because I know baseball a lot better. Okay, and I can do this analogy in a way that I think resonates a whole lot more from that space. Okay, John, do you know baseball at all? And there's a delay, guys. So if you see me pausing and waiting in a few minutes, that's why. Okay, so baseball. Okay. The goal of baseball and the goal of really any sport, this is about change. Okay. This is about reassessing perspective. Okay. This is about readjusting. This is about pivoting. So a baseball player is not effective if he can just catch a ball. A baseball player is not effective if he can just hit the ball. A baseball player is not effective if he can just run. Okay? You have to do all of the things. The goal is recognizing that a ball, I call it change, is always moving throughout the sky. It's always moving around. Okay? It's always moving throughout your field called life. And at any given moment, the ball is going to come from somewhere in your experience, and it's going to come in your direction. Okay, so right now I'm holding a ball that I am throwing at you all right now. Okay, now you can do a few things when a ball is headed in your direction. Okay, now a ball that has a message, a ball that has purpose for you in your life, because there's a shift or a change or a transition that is coming that is on your path, headed your way. The best thing to do is catch it. Okay. Or if you don't catch it, you might just move out of the way, because a ball coming 90 miles an hour in your direction, if you are not prepared to catch it, that thing is going to hurt. Now, you can stand still and allow it to hit you. And if you leave with a black eye, that's very much a possibility too. Okay. The goal to be an effective player in your life and not just have life coming at you all the time is to be able to catch the ball, read an entire field in a millisecond, adjust, throw the ball in the direction that it has the highest likelihood of winning whatever play that is for the whole team. So you can not only assess what you are capable of in the moment, you have to assess what your teammates are capable of in the moment. You have to assess wind speed. You have to assess direction. You have to assess anything that could be in the way. You have to assess that person who could be on second trying to steal third. You have to be able to assess if the person who's about to hit this next ball knows what they're doing. You have to be able to assess every single component that is on your field, adjust it, and then throw that ball in the direction that it has the highest likelihood of whoever is going to catch it being able to do the same thing again and again and again and again and again. What we don't like to recognize is that we are always on the field. What we don't like to recognize is that the game is always in play. What we don't like to recognize is that the ball is constantly flying. And if you are not prepared for it, it can harm you. But if you prepare for it, even if you prepare for it enough to recognize that I'm not in a position right now to be able to catch this, so let me move out the way a little bit, that's smart. Or you can say, you know what, I've been training for this because I've been going to catching practice 2 and 3 times a week. Every single week, I have been training for whatever direction this ball can come from. I've been training for whatever speed that ball can come at. I've been training for whoever can be on the other side when it's time for me to release this ball. I've been training to know that the person in left outfield doesn't have the arm that my right outfielder does. Okay? You have to be able to know how to adjust. Okay? So you have to be able to catch, adjust, redirect, and then release. And not just release, but release in the proper direction. Okay? So right now, homework is the same thing that it's always been. The thing that has adjusted is that you're now doing all of the things at home. So you go to school at home, you do your homework at home, you eat at home, you sleep at home, you play at home, you talk on the phone at home, you hang out with your friends in some virtual space at home. Nothing has changed. But for whatever reason, when one element on our field is adjusted in some way that's outside of what we are used to, we are no longer able to play the game. That's not stuck, that's sabotage. And you are your own saboteur. You are not stuck. That is sabotage. So what we do is we've been playing this game. We've been preparing for this game. A lot of people have been in school for years on years on years. And if you aren't now, and if you're a mom or you're a professional or you're anybody else who's here with us today, you've been in school at some point in your life. Or you've been working for a long period of time. It's not going to work well when one element of our experience changes, which is we are at home, which oftentimes is a place that's very familiar for us, but it stops us from being able to create. This is what freedom is all about, creativity. And so in us being able to assess the fact that maybe we are most free at home, you are free in a whole lot of ways at home. You can wear whatever you want to wear. Your hair can be all over your head if you want it to be. The people who feel like every time I leave my house, I need to have a full face of makeup or whatever it is, you don't have to do any of that. Nobody is there to judge you. Nobody is there to try to help you redirect. Nobody is there. It's just you. It's just you. So in this space where you are more free than you would ever be at school, in this space where you are more free than you would ever be at work, the conditions are prime for you to adjust because now you can work all day in your pajamas. That 2-hour period between you waking up, showering, putting on clothes, having breakfast, and then having to get to your 9:25 class on time, that's all gone. Hours of your day have been freed. I'm going to get there. Thank you. Hours of your day have been freed. This is your prime opportunity for you to level up, and not just level up, but to now create. Create something new. Create new opportunities. Create new ways of doing things. Okay? How can you use the now? How can you use the right now to make all of the new that you were wanting in your life work? Hi, Tate. How can you use your now? And so some people are saying, well, I have toxic family members. Some people are saying, you know what? That sounds really good, but home is not free, actually. That's fine too. Because in the places where home is not free, sometimes it's helping you move into a space where at work it will not feel free. This is catching practice. This is batting practice. Because sometimes, in all truth, which is why we're doing the Mother's Day experience, oftentimes our family members can be our biggest haters. Oftentimes our family members are the ones that don't support. Oftentimes our family members are the ones that make it most difficult. So if you can win in a space and you can adjust and you can create circumstances for yourself in the space where everything is working against you, what do you think is going to happen when the walls open back up and the doors open back up and life opens back up? If you can win there, literally the rest of life is going to feel like a cakewalk. That boss that's really annoying, but it's the most amazing job you've ever experienced. Oh, you ain't nothing. You ain't got nothing on my auntie. You ain't got nothing on my mama. You done yelling. Okay, well, let's get back to what we got to get done. I can really understand where you're coming from. I can understand that you're frustrated. How are we going to work together? Okay, so how can we use these opportunities that life is creating for us? I am not saying that it is easy. I am not saying that it is ideal. I'm saying that there are a lot of spaces where we are in practice right now. And perfect practice makes perfect performance. So if you at home not being motivated and you at home not working and you're at home not making things shake for you, it's going to be real hard to leave and make anything happen. If success in your life requires all of your conditions to be prime, the only time you are allowing yourself, hear me say allowing yourself, nobody's doing this to you. The only time you are allowing yourself to win is when life is easy. But if you can win when life is hard, then life is always easy. Success is always easy. Success is merely readjusting and pivoting. Success is merely, oh, I thought I was going to throw it to that player on the field, but second base got something going on because somebody trying to steal second from first. I need to move and let me throw it on home because what you didn't see is third base was trying to make it on home and I can get it there before I can make it there. That's it. But we allow the frustration to get in the way of us being able to have a clear picture of our field. Sit back right now, and I had you guys start working. If you don't have your notebook out, pull it back out. Where are you feeling stuck? And what's the first thing that you can do to get unstuck? And the beautiful thing is you just have to try something. Trying anything helps you always get one step ahead of where you were. Even if it doesn't work, you've narrowed your playing field. You've narrowed your options. You are always making yourself move forward. You are always on a forward trajectory if you just make one move. If you just focus on the left foot going in front of the right, and then you just focus on the right foot going in front of the left. Now, in the back of your mind, you know that you're trying to get all the way down the street, make a left at the end, go down, get all the way to where success lies in your brain. Okay? You know that. But you know you're not going to get anywhere if you don't get from where you are right now. And even if you're going in the wrong direction and then something comes up on your path and says, you know what? I know so-and-so told you to go this way, but you really can just go this way and it might be faster. Be willing to free yourself. Be willing to recognize that you were never, ever, ever truly stuck. But if I turned around and I looked at this brick wall and thought I was going to move forward, that's not on anybody else but me. And I kept being mad at the brick wall for not moving itself out of my path. If we keep being mad at Corona and quarantine for making you unproductive, if we keep being mad at whoever is keeping the world shut down right now, which thank God they are, everybody can have their own opinion. That's my opinion because I believe in people being safe. And there are too many people who are not safe at all right now. But if I turned around and I stared at this brick wall with the idea that I was going to move and go somewhere, nobody else is going to be hurt. I could yell at the brick wall. I could yell at all the other people who's not moving the brick wall. I use this visual in my class, and I really love it. It's on Google. I'll try to post it. If you take a milk jug, okay, and you put it under the water faucet, my students know exactly what I'm talking about. Please go share it. If you haven't shared it with somebody, it's not fair. You better pay it forward, okay? But if you put a milk jug under a water faucet and you turn on the water faucet, and that milk jug is directly under the stream and the flow of water, the water's not going to be mad at the milk jug. The water's not going to try to move the milk jug. Water as a substance will get wherever it wants to get, and it'll do it in many ways. It'll push so hard that it moves it out of the way. It will completely go around it. It'll find its way under it. It'll find its way through it. It'll find its way over here, over here, over here, over here. So the goal for you is to look at all the places where you were stuck and then find the passage. It might mean you going under something. It might mean you going over something. It might mean you going around it. It might mean you spreading all of your resources to just encapsulate it. So then it's not even there, because the stream and the flow can catch right back under it and keep going. Think about the lakes that were created. Think about water is powerful. Water has the ability to move anything that it wants to move, but sometimes you don't have to move it. Sometimes you can just flow around it. So I beg you all, in your freedom, right, in the space where you are becoming free, I urge you guys to find the spaces where you can be in flow, where you can be in alignment, where you cannot stand in your own way, where you can recognize that the only thing, hello, and you know what, thank you, Tati, because that was a question that somebody asked. Well, what happens when the water is moving and I don't want to move? That's why you have to flow, because if you don't flow and you try to hold your ground against water, you're going to drown. You're going to drown. That's how this works. If you fight the current that's already going to move, if you are fighting against the flow, don't worry, because the water is going to get wherever it wants to go. It's you who's going to take the L. You are going to take the loss. Or you can release the control, allow yourself to be free in the flow. Just go with the water. Just Corona's here. We're at home. Just flow with it. Now all of our friends are having to be virtual. Just go with it. And not just go with it. Sometimes when you recognize that you're in flow and you stop fighting the water, a beautiful thing happens. You start to have a little bit of fun. You start to enjoy the water. You start to enjoy the fact that you're not having to swim. You can just float. It's fine. You don't know how to swim? Don't worry. If you just release and go with it, you'll be fine. You will be fine. You will be fine. You will be fine. We've been going for quite a while today. Who has questions? Tati, are you ready? So for those of you who don't know, Tatiana is the moderator for tonight. She has been the moderator for the past 2 weeks. Go ahead and ask to join my live, Tati. Oh, I got you. All right. Who has questions? If you have questions, please do not put them in the comment box. Please add them to the chat, okay? It'll make it easier for my moderators who are here helping. Hello, Tati.
Hey, how are you?
I am great. You look beautiful today.
Thank you. I was trying to get the blue for this film 24.
Yes.
Okay, so I have some questions.
Okay.
If you're ready for them.
I am ready.
Okay. So the first question is, how can you identify the spaces where it's self-sabotage versus an actual dilemma?
How can you identify whether it's self-sabotage or a dilemma? sometimes it doesn't matter. Because self-sabotage is a dilemma. Right? So whether it's us doing it to ourselves, because we didn't choose Corona, so that's not us sabotaging. Us choosing to be stuck because of the dilemma.
Right.
It's sabotage. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's always about, remember, it's the field, and change is constantly moving left and right and forward and back and up and down in all the places. Change is always constantly flowing. It's not so much about how it's changing and more about how you respond to the change. So sabotage is not responding to the change. Self-sabotage. It's choosing to say, I'm just going to be upset that change is happening. Why can't change move in the way that I would like for it to move? Who told Corona to come see us? Who told the AUC to shut down? Who told? All of that is happening. You can be mad about it or you can do something about it. That is stuck versus free. Does that make sense? Who else?
Okay, the next question is, what are the spaces that truly motivate you are outside of your home environment?
Okay. So that's really good. And the goal is to not be externally motivated, it's to be inspired. So if you are, there are a lot of people who are motivational speakers, right? I personally don't care for that term. I much prefer to be considered an inspirational speaker, because for me to motivate somebody to do something, by definition, it means I'm convincing somebody else to do something that they originally didn't want to do. By definition, to motivate somebody is to convince somebody else to do something that they don't really want to do. I didn't want to work out today. You know it's good for you, but let me come and go. You can do it. 5 more to go. All right. You are never going to get anywhere if you are consistently looking for motivation. You need to be inspired.
Right.
Inspiration comes from inside. Inspiration. It's about finding the light and the fire that's on the inside of your being, that is on the inside of your body. Motivation means you are requiring somebody else to be great. You are requiring somebody else to move into your experience in order for you to align with your greatness. And you can wait and be stuck, or you can be free.
And let's get there.
Because here's the thing. So people think that, my students will tell you, I mean this in the most loving way possible. I love that I'm able to connect with my students. I love that I'm able to connect with my clients. I love that I'm able to engage with people in the way that I am. But at the end of the day, I am not attached to what you do with it. My job is not to force you to take notes. My job is not to force you to do something different tomorrow. My job is not to force you to do homework. None of that has anything to do with me. I am inspired on my very own to show up to this party every Monday night, to show up to my classroom whenever I have a classroom to show up to. And honestly, and some of my students can attest to it because they've been there, I go to dinner and I'm sitting at dinner, and next thing I know, I'm doing this with the table next to me. It's my truth.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't come from without, it comes from within.
Yeah.
And that's what all of this is about. Finding the freedom that's within yourself. If you are looking for your external circumstances to be free, you will never find it.
Never.
If you are looking for life to want to align with your version of what you want it to be, for you to be successful, it won't happen. When I would first get clients on my caseload in the prison, one of the first lessons, or one of the first sessions after like intake and things like that I would talk about is perspective. And in that, we would talk about the idea that, think about it. Somebody who has 6 kids, somebody who works a full-time job, who is a single parent, who has to come home Not just make all the money, but then feed all the kids, and then everybody wants something. And it's always, hey, over here and over there, right? Everybody always wants something from you. The idea that you can go away for an entire year or more, your kids still know that you love them, and you can blame it on somebody else that you're not there. You don't have to worry about cooking for yourself. Can't nobody call you. You don't even have to leave the room to go to the bathroom. And you can just be in your own place. You can read all the books. You can spend as much time with just yourself as you want. To a lot of people, that sounds like a vacation. I just described prison.
It does, the way you're describing it.
I just described prison.
It's crazy.
It is all about perspective. It is all about how you see things. And so that's why I say these are the moments, depending on how you choose to assess your conditions, depending on how you choose to assess your playing field, this is prime condition. People who say they want to create, people who say that they want to sing, people who say they like to rap, people who say they like to write, people who want to do whatever these things are. You want to start a business? Do it. Literally nothing is standing in your way. You don't have anywhere else to go. And we talked about this in some of my classes about the concept of death, right? And the best way that you can honor somebody who is passing, the best way that you can honor someone who has passed is to live life in your fullest. Is to live life at your absolute fullest. So I think about all the people who are in places where they wish they weren't during this time, for all of the people who are critically ill, for all of the people that this world has lost, for all of the people who are healthcare workers who go in to work sometimes 20 hours a day, literally to save the human race right now. And you mad because you at home. And me being at home is stopping me from doing anything? Nah, dog, that's you. Absolutely not. And you can choose to continue to see it that way, and the rest of the world will not stop for you. So it's not even a judgment thing. It's you don't have to be stuck there, right? You can just move. This isn't like, it's like hey, you're not stuck for real. You are not really, truly stuck. You can do something. Okay? Like, get over yourself. And I don't mean
share
this.
This to 5 people. If you love this, share this to 5 people.
Thank you,
right
Tati.
now.
And we're here every single week, every single Monday. Yeah. But it's not just free yourself. It's recognize that you are powerful in your own experience at all times. Okay? And it's about recognizing that how you respond to your conditions determines if you win the game. If your best pitcher gets injured because the batter hits that ball directly into something, I don't know, and harms the person, and you aren't able to adjust when a player has been switched out or swapped out on your team, the winning team isn't going to be mad that that happened for you. Okay? And the best players stop and go, okay, we just played a whole game. What can we do better the next time? My students who are my interns, I asked them, like, I need y'all to be my biggest hater. Don't tell me that it was great. I had a whole lot of people in the live saying that it was fantastic. What I need is my biggest hater. What I need is, okay, at this one point, it was like, and then at this one point, and then the truth of the matter is our numbers aren't what they were. Maybe we can stop for a second and figure out what happened this week that was different from last week. I think I have an idea, and it involves not being grounded, okay? But all of the things, right? It's about being brave enough, being willing enough to assess your conditions and the places where you could have done something better. So right now, this isn't, here you are playing the victim. No. It's, let's talk about how we can do this differently tomorrow. Yeah. Let's talk about how we can do this differently tomorrow. You feel stuck today? Okay, what's one move that you can make tomorrow? That's why I'm a coach. I'm not a therapist. For those of you who might think I am not. I am a coach. So when you get done with your game, what do? You go have a huddle with your coach. All right, good game, y'all. But next time, let's do this. Next time, let's do that. Next time, let's pivot this way. Next time, I thought we had so-and-so on third base and so-and-so on second. Maybe it'll be better if they swapped. whatever it is. Be willing to go back and talk to yourself and figure out how you can move differently. If you have a slump today, that's fine. How do you move out of your slump? What do you do next? It's about always just doing one thing. Right? Tomorrow is always day one. The next minute is always the next minute. Okay, I didn't do it right in this moment, and I am stopping and I'm recognizing that I could have done something differently. I'm going to start now. That's how you win. The faster you adjust, the faster you pivot, the faster you win. And sometimes pivoting means I realize that, you know what, coach, I need to be benched today. I'm not playing at my fullest. I'm not playing at my highest. I'm not in a space. I need to go sit down with myself and go handle some stuff that's really real, because right now, all the stuff I have going on at home and all the stuff I have going on within myself, because I need to be motivated by somebody else and I don't feel inspired anymore. I need to go sit with myself and figure out why I'm doing this anyway. And then once I do that, you can pull me off the bench. That's still a movement. Sometimes recognizing that you need to rest and recover is a movement. And then what? Once you have done that, what's next? What's next? What question you got next, Tasha?
Okay, that was a good answer, by the way. Just to let you know. How do you? Okay. What if the reason you won't go with the flow is because your heart has been broken? How do you heal and move forward simultaneously?
I just said it. It's 2 questions. So I kind of just said it. So remember, this is about inspiration, right? And a lot of times people don't feel inspired because their heart has been broken so many times. And I don't mean broken by external people. I don't mean broken by, you can be broken by situation, right? You can be broken by all kinds of things. So, okay, so we're going to take it back to the sports analogy, right? So if a player breaks his or tears his ACL, right? Or breaks his leg or breaks something, you have to heal that thing, because if you don't, you are stealing your ability to be creative going forward. You are stealing your ability to actually to play the game going forward. So that's why you rest. That is why you recover. So a lot of what I talk about is about going within to do the real work that's standing in the way of you being able to move forward and do anything else. That's what that work entails. That work entails finding the places where your heart's broken, finding the places where your soul is shattered, finding the place where you were not aligned and you were not in flow, finding the places where life isn't quite lining up. And why do I feel like life keeps giving me the same set of circumstances with a different person's name on it? What lesson are you avoiding? Your coach in the game is going to say the same thing. If every single time you go up for a 3-point, I don't know nothing about basketball yet. Is it a 3-pointer? There we go. Okay. Every single time you go for a 3-pointer and you don't land it, every single time you go to the foul line and you don't make it, Doc, you need to go and practice. You need to go do it again and again and again and again and again and again and again till it's second nature. Go do it again and again and again till you can do it with your eyes closed. So you can do it from any point on this court. That's what life is asking for us to do. Sometimes because we don't learn the lesson good enough and you're trying to push through it and move through it rather than recognize right now, I'm sorry, coach. Remember I told you my leg isn't feeling the way that it usually feels and I need to go sit down right now. You keep trying to jump in. No, because I don't like to see somebody else playing my position. You can insert that wherever it needs to be. Be it the guy that you were dating or the girl that you were dating. I don't like to see somebody else playing what I know to be my position. Well, sweetheart, you're not healthy. Somebody else is going to keep playing your position, especially with you trying to, you keep training and your body is telling you to sit down. So you ain't never going to ever get back in your game and you're going to end up injuring yourself to a point where they're going to say, you know what, your time is done. I really love the show All American. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's a part I'm not going to give it away. Essentially, there's a part that comes, in case you haven't seen it, please go watch it. It's fantastic. But there's a part in the show where one of the characters is injured, but because of his struggle and because of his life, Okay, because his life has been all has been is struggle, all has been is hard, all has been is difficulty, and he's working so hard to get out of his circumstances that he keeps putting himself back into them. Because life is saying, you are injured. You are injured. Sit down. But no, coach, I can do this. I can train. Go sit down. No. If I just push a little bit harder, I can just lift weights that's a little bit light. No, sit down or you're going to tear it and you're never going to make it out of your conditions because you didn't listen.
You're right.
It seems like a lot of people know this show and like it. Okay, so life is telling you everything that you need to know. The way that you know that you haven't learned the lesson, the way that you know that it's not time for you to get back in the game is the next time you try to get back in the game and the same lesson presents itself. If that lesson presents itself in your life, which means you are exacerbating that injury, for my sports people, you're making your injury worse. If that's the case, you're going to sit back down because the pain that's in your shoulder is going to tell you. The pain that's in your shoulder is going to tell you, you thought you were ready, but you're not. And you don't want the pain in the shoulder to turn into your hand, you not being able to feel your hand. Okay? You have to step out of your comfort zone because what people don't recognize is oftentimes their comfort zone is the struggle. Oftentimes, the comfort zone is the space where you don't feel like you have it together. The comfort zone is the toxic relationship. The comfort zone is the I'm just used to not doing really well in school, and so I just do well everywhere else. The comfort zone is I show up for everybody else and I help them heal their problems so I don't have to deal with mine. The comfort zone are all of the places that leave you in toxicity. So maybe if you make yourself a little bit uncomfortable, life will show up for you instead.
Preaching today. It's been hot on my side.
Familiarity, Ashanti said. So I told you guys initially, I just didn't like the way it looked on the flyer. If you want to know my real truth, it was going to be freedom versus familiarity. And that's what it was about initially. But clearly y'all needed another message too. I love you, Dre. So the issue is sometimes you have to be free. The goal is to get yourself free from the familiar circumstances, because if you keep doing what you always did, you're always going to get what you always got. I'm going to run it back. If you keep doing what you've always done, you will always get what you've always gotten. So that whole, but I know that I need to go do this for myself, but don't you see those babies over there? They're hungry. I can give them my last little bit, and you don't realize you only got a half a pound to go before your body can't hold itself no more. Because what it is a distraction. It is a distraction from everything you are saying you want, and life is showing up to see if you really mean it. Do you really mean it? You say you want to be great. You say you want to be different. You say you want to make it out of whatever your circumstances were before. You say you don't want to be in the projects no more. You say you don't want to be labeled as a rich kid anymore. You say you don't want any of these things anymore. And you keep doing the exact same things that will ensure that that's the only place that you can be. That's when you need to rest. When you can sit and go, okay, this is clearly about, yes, it is insanity, Martover, but where can I sit and actually heal myself? Where can I sit and do the work with myself? Where can I sit? Because clearly life has tried to teach me this lesson again and again and again, and I haven't gotten it yet. So let me go sit down and learn it one good time. I told you guys this last week. It's one of my most fervent prayers. God, teach me the lesson the first time. I don't care how hard it has to come. I don't care how deep it has to cut. I don't care whatever it is. Please teach me the lesson when you are trying to give it to me as a whisper, than when you are presenting it on my journey as a mountain, because that's what will happen. It will go from a whisper, and the whisper will turn into a gust of wind, and the gust of wind that can knock you over will turn into a little bitty pebble, because God will be like, you know what, let me try to come back and do it again. Maybe I went too hard that second time. Let me give you a little pebble, and then the pebble turns into a stone, and then the stone turns into a rock, and the rock turns into a boulder, and the boulder turns into something else. Okay? And it's going to keep going until we get to a place where, come on, breeze is strong. It might be a tornado. Who knows? Sometimes you get a gust of wind, a tornado, a hurricane, all the things at the same time. I think they call it El Nino or something. I don't know. But you get all the things at the same time because you didn't listen when the lesson would have been easy. You didn't listen when the lesson could have been easy. It could have been gentle. It could have been swift. It could have been peaceful. You said, no, God. I know you think I like the breeze on a summer day. I much prefer a tornado in the middle of a hurricane. Please and thank you. Okay? So that's why I say recognize this entire time as an opportunity. This is the time where you get to go sit down. This is the time in life when literally the entire world has stopped for you. The entire world has stopped for you to get your shit together. The entire world has stopped to say, go sit down and figure out all the lessons I've been trying to teach you and learn them. You need to get to studying, especially those of you who don't want to do your homework. You guys don't want to do your regular homework, and life is trying to give you a whole nother sort of homework all at the same time. Do you really want to run from your homework? Because I just told you what happened when you don't when you don't listen to the whisper. Come on, Lauryn Hill. It could all be so simple. But we would rather make it hard.
Sure we do.
Okay? What you got next?
Okay, so this ties in perfectly to the next question. How do you recognize you need rest?
How do you recognize you need rest? Every single step you take, you don't go anywhere. So I told you the goal is to take one step. Excuse me, guys. You take one step, and then you take another step. And then you try to take another step. But if you find yourself trying to take a step and it feels like quicksand,
it's not for you, dog.
Do you guys know how to get out of quicksand?
No.
They say if you are stuck in quicksand and you try to struggle your way out of it, it won't work. The goal is to try to lay flat. Rest. The goal is to try to lay flat. And with every ounce of your being, crawl forward. But you got to relax. If you were trying to struggle, it will not work. This is what I was talking about with the water being in flow. The goal is to figure out how to realign with flow. And we all know what flow is. You can say you don't know what flow is, but you know what flow is. Flow is that space where life sings. Flow is that space where it literally feels like you haven't slept for 3 days, but you could keep going forever. Flow is when literally it feels like your body is buzzing. That's how I feel when I'm on with you guys. That's how I feel standing in front of my classroom, which is literally what has made me put down other avenues that, like I'm literally stepping away from everything that has earned me money because I am finally in flow. And good God, when you get there, the goal in life is to stay there. When you feel it, the goal is to stay. The goal is to figure out how to keep it coming. And even if it doesn't come by doing the same things, because we forget that we elevate, right? So in the same way that you go from kindergarten to first grade to second grade to third grade, and you were really excited when you first got your phonics, right? And you finally started to learn how to put the words together and it all made sense in the best way. You're like, wait a minute. Okay, I could read all day. And then you get to the point where it's like, I don't really want to read. Audible could read to me. Or maybe I want to hear it in a song. Your body will readjust you when it's time for you to go into the next level of flow.
Yeah.
Right? And you'll just know because the thing that put you in flow before doesn't put you in flow now. And it's not about judging it. You have to release the judgment of it. Okay, so I don't feel in flow anymore. Let me try to realign myself with flow somewhere else. And I'll try something. Because what do you do when you get stuck? Realize you're not actually stuck. Try shit, and then you try something else if the first thing didn't work. Okay? What else we got?
Okay.
That's going to be the last question tonight.
Oh, dang. Give me 2 seconds to read this.
Last question.
Okay. How can we deal with the pressure of feeling like we have to have our next 10 steps mapped out?
How can we deal with the pressure of feeling like we need to have our next 10 steps mapped out? Okay, so let me give you something about coaching 101. So we talk about goals, SMART goals, right? So specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and on a timetable, right? So you have your SMART goals. Now, if you say, you know what, by this date, because it's on a timetable, by this date, I want to achieve this much, it's measurable, something that is actually attainable, right? So you have your goal. And then from the goal, the key is to not just focus on the goal. The key is to, once you recognize the goal, work your way backwards to where you are in manageable increments. For instance, you can say, you know what? I want to lose 10 pounds in 3 months, whatever. Okay, that's great. So if you want to lose 10 pounds in 3 months, that means you want to lose 3 pounds per month. Fair? Okay. You want to lose 3 pounds per month? That's not even a pound per week.
Really?
That's manageable. Right? So if it's not even a pound per week, a pound equals 3,500 calories. How can you add exercise or physical movement in some way that increases the calories, okay, that you put out? And how can you include a deficit in your eating to get to that 3,500 calories? So if you're eating 2,500 calories a day, can we just get you to drop by, say, 250 calories a day per week? And then how much does that mean you need to exercise? Great. That's how we do it. So tomorrow, day one step. You're going to wake up and you're going to go get on the treadmill and you are going to walk until your Apple Watch says you have burned 200 calories. Boom. And you will plan your meals so that you're at a deficit of X amount of calories. That's only one day. You ain't got to worry about the 10 pounds. You have to worry about putting in the work tomorrow. And then once you put in the work tomorrow, then you have to put in the work the day after that. And then you have to put in the work the day after that. And then you have to put in the work the day after that. If you focus on the 10 pounds and just the 10 pounds, you're going to be sitting on your couch in the morning. Because it's just too much. How am I supposed to do that? I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All of this, guys, the way to freedom in any way is taking the first step. Just one. It's recognizing you're not actually stuck. That is the goal. Across the board, you are not free. You can create. You can create new opportunities. You can take the circumstances that you have right now and figure out the places where now you are at an advantage. I didn't say focus on the places where you were at a disadvantage. Where are you at an advantage? And ride that wave. Ride that flow. And keep yourself in spaces of advantage rather than focusing on the fact that there could possibly be a disadvantage that lies somewhere. Does that make sense?
A lot of sense.
Okay. If you guys had a good time, go ahead and drop a butterfly for me. What I want to do is still try to match some current students with some of the 2024 students. So even if that's Morehouse, I might try to put out a post or something that reaches out to Spelman and Morehouse who, incoming freshmen who don't have the experience that they have, right? Or, that we generally have had. If you want to be a big brother, if you want to be a big sister, if you want to engage with the community in some way, shoot me a DM, please. That way I can have your information and I can work to align you with somebody else. Okay. You guys are amazing. I tell you this all the time. This makes my heart sing and it makes me so excited to see you guys here. I love you all too. And in the spaces where we are learning together, where I am teaching you all how to love yourselves, I will hold it wide open. I will love you in the gap. Okay. I will hold the doors wide open and wait for you to show up there with me. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Monday evening. I will see my students in class tomorrow, and then I will see everybody back here on Monday. My goal next week, listen, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm really disappointed. Well, I'm not disappointed, actually. This is where I'm hating on myself because I get to be my biggest hater too. We need to get our numbers back to where they usually are. Okay, we need to make sure we're going to be in 200. We need to make sure that we are not keeping this to ourselves, that we are not selfishly aligning and stealing the opportunities for other people too. Okay, you guys have a beautiful evening. I love you in the gap. Yes, chef, please. And I will see you all next Monday. Bye, Tati. Bye, you all. Save it. And everybody here, y'all have a good one too. I'm so happy that we have it in 2 places now. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. It actually counts on YouTube. I'm trying to make this bigger in both places. Thank you guys so much. It means the world. And I look forward to seeing you all next Monday too.